Hello and welcome. I'm the Chris who plays games, and this is your live stream of the evening. I'm the Chris who plays games, playing retro games every Monday at 9:15, whatever I feel like, every Friday at 9:15, and tonight we're going to be picking back up with a game called Unravel 2. That's the word 2 and not the number 2, because I guess they don't do sequels the same way that I do sequels. But yeah, so we'll be playing that tonight. This game is one that I am very excited about continuing and finishing. Unravel has been one of my favorite games during my entire time live streaming here on the YouTube platform. I played Unravel, the first game, about I don't know, a year ago at this point, and it was definitely one of the games that actually got me to build a PC specifically so that I could play it. So it was very exciting to me. I did not actually realize they were doing a sequel to that until E3 when they announced that it was out. I was super excited about that, and happy to have the game to play and play through it here on YouTube. As always, we'll be talking about a mixture of things throughout the evening. We'll be talking about politics and the weird ways our brain acts. We'll be talking about how Scotty from Star Trek is apparently a living legend and how Mr. Rogers once sued the KKK. We'll be talking about just about anything and everything that you want tonight. So if you have something you want to be talking about, you can bring that up in the chat. You can do whatever you want. You can dance if you want, or you can leave your friends behind if your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, then they're no friends of mine. But for right now, we're going to get right into the game. Happy to have all of you here joining me here tonight. Hello, James, and welcome to the stream. Did I push the right buttons? I did appear to push the right buttons, and so we will be going on. One of the problems with this game, one of the few problems I have with this game, is that it unfortunately does not allow you to play it in a windowed mode. The windowed mode is weird. Like, it goes windowed, but it will always be the full resolution of the desktop, which is a really weird thing. And I could not figure out how to work around that. So I'm used to having like a small, 720 screen, and now it's much bigger, so my stuff doesn't work. Just doesn't work. Okay, night swimming, chapter 4. So we finished chapters 1 through 3 on whatever day we last streamed this, so last Friday. And so we are now into chapter 4, night swimming. But yeah, so usually like the game would be here and chat would be here, but now I've got this whole monitor and it's gorgeous, which is awesome, but it is definitely a little bit surprising. Well, the reason you're the most experienced marketer in your office, Amadeus, is because you spend all your time talking to me, and we all know that I am a brilliant marketeer. No, that's not true at all. But I think that one of the things that people kind of underestimate is the value of being a self-promoting content creator on things like marketing. It's one of the things that I think was brought up by... Oh, we got story going on. Okay. So this is a boy and his sister, we think, hiding from their kind of like drunk asshole dad. And we can see here that something went a bit poorly for us. Okay. So we have to get across the top of that, I assume. What does this do? Okay, so this lets us move this up and down. We cannot hang off of this in any way. There's nothing we can go through or climb on here. So we do have the ability to split our character in two. This is the primary difference between Unravel 1 and Unravel 2, is you can actually have two little yarnies, and that is important to most of the puzzles in the game. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to actually get me to where I want to go. So, interesting. Alright, and does this make it go? That makes it go up. So one of the things we can do is we can split in two, and we can we get up on top of here? No, we cannot. Oh no! Okay. So when this rolls back into place, it kind of stretches a little bit at the bottom. We'll see if we can do that. Hello, SpongeBob lover. Welcome to the stream. Oh, no. Oh, come on. Oh, I can jump from this side. Haha, I'm dumb. Okay, so what we can do now is that we can swap characters. And now this guy can climb on up here. Oops. Okay, nope, not like that. We can wrap around this, and then we can push this up. And now Yarny can go ahead and climb up. No? Let's see. Okay, so as soon as I let go of him, then he stops holding on to his little string, which is not what I thought was supposed to happen. I thought he was supposed to stay. And press F to see hints. Alright, I will need to loop the yarn and lift it to swing to the spark shards. Okay. Aha! Ow. Hello, or chaos. Yeah, so you have actually set up a AdWords campaign, which definitely makes you a more experienced marketer than most people. I don't think that should be surprising, right? Okay, so I guess I have to get both of them at the same time, which is not what I have done here. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and do this. And then we will go ahead and swing over here. Oh, okay. Here we go. So now I can swap blue for red, and then I can go over here. And then once I do this, I will be able to climb back up the rope with blue. Okay, we're good. I got it all. If I had it all. It's one of my favorite bands is Dave Matthews Band. I saw them 4 or 5 times in concert, more than any other band. I did see Caravan Palace in concert one time, and maybe one other group. But primarily, I have just gone to a single band's concerts in my entire life because I am silly. Yeah, so I went to go see the fireworks. Boston has a pretty great fireworks display. It was a little bit less good this year than it has been in previous years, and so that was unfortunate. But I think there was basically like a guy who had been paying for the fireworks. Oh gosh. Okay, well, that's a thing. What do I do? Tie like that? And I'm gonna guess that I have to... Oh, I can't... Oh, there we go. I was gonna say I have to push this brick up here, I bet. And I have to build a bridge and then push the brick up the bridge. Yeah, so the guy who had been paying for the fireworks was like just like a wealthy dude who was paying for it out of pocket. And I think he either died or he was like not going to do it anymore. Like he was doing it for a business tie-in or something, and he was no longer going to do it or something. I don't remember what the button is to... There we go. A is the answer to my question. And so, like, last year I remember reading the article that was like, will there be fireworks next year? Nobody knows, because he wasn't going to be paying for it anymore. So I think that whatever happened, it did seem like they suffered a little bit relative to previous years, which is sad, because, you know, it's more fun when things don't suffer. But also shit happens, so, you know. They were still great fireworks. They just weren't the best fireworks I've ever seen, which is what they've been for a long time here in Boston. I also got a great seat. I went down there early enough. I was going on my own, so usually like I'm going with either Jess or the girls or whatever else like that. And I'm a big fireworks fan, but they're not nearly as big a fan of being like, you know, right there or anything else like that. And so oftentimes I have to convince them that, you know, we want to be very close and we want to spend a bunch of time like going and being at the fireworks early, and that can be rough. But this year, since I was going on my own, I didn't have to convince them. I just went and did my thing, which is great. What are we gonna do here? We're gonna tie this off. Can we do that? No, I guess we can't. Okay, red. Oh god. Let's see. Need to actually push the jump button. Nope, that was dumb. There we go. Hello, Matus. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Oh, there's no way they could do that. Like, the fireworks show in Boston is, like, the entire open area along both sides of the river in Boston and Cambridge. I mean, the reality is that the fireworks show is a huge tourist attraction. The city should accept that it just has to pay the money for it. and I think that they did. I mean, like I said, they didn't disappear. So clearly someone realized that, you know, fireworks are not a thing we can just get rid of, which is great. But they were just a little bit less good than I had been used to in the past, and that was a little bit unfortunate. It's also possible that my memory is just bad, and they were just as good as they've always been, and I just, you know, have a shitty memory. Like, anything is possible. Okay, so I feel like I can't actually make this jump. Like, if I just jump normally from here, I come almost to the edge, but not quite. And if I jump off the bridge, I also come close, but not quite. So, what is the trick here? That was not it. But yeah, I mean, the reality is that it's like 2 million people or something like that come to Boston for the fireworks show. It's definitely a win for the city to even at $1 million, they're gonna make more in, you know, taxes and other things like that. And it's just a part of the history of the city. They do the whole show on the Esplanade. It's usually broadcast on live TV. It's got a lot of things going for it that make it important to the city. It's sad that, you know, the wealthy benefactor who had been funding it had bailed, but, you know, it's fine. Shit happens. I don't know. Alright. There are no hints for this area. Great. Try slowing down time. Alright. Yeah, no, slowing down time is not going to help me. I just can't make this jump, but I need to figure out what it is. And maybe the answer is I just need to be better at jumping, but oh, right, duh, I'm an idiot. I was like, why can't I do this? Duh, because you're supposed to swing. There we go. Alright, Blue Yarny. Let's go. Oh! Red Yarny, come back. Don't fall down. Well, actually, do fall down. Okay, so now the problem is I'm going to have to untie my earlier tie, which did not work. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this. That's right, Red. You just hang there. You know what you did. That's right. Go ahead and come up here. So I think it's possible that I don't actually need... Yeah, okay. So I don't need to tie the rope bridge there. But I will need it here. So go ahead and tie that, and then do the swingy swing. Oh! Okay. I was wrong. But yeah, overall it's a great fireworks show. I was right. I was literally like close enough that the fireworks were dropping ashes on me, which I know some people would be like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? But for me and my particular love of fireworks, that was a good thing. And it was a lot of fun. It was still a great show despite my whining here. So, all right, let's go ahead and do this. And then... How much swing do I have? Not much. Right. All right. Let's see. I'm a little bit confused now. Somehow I've got to get a shorter rope tied. Alright, so let's go ahead and pull this. And then I gotta pull this. Get this tied off. That's not a lot of swinging. How come I can't? There we go. Okay, so this is not working. It's not surprising. So let's get blue to climb up here. Now he seems to have a long rope. So I should be able to, at this point, tie this off and make a bridge. I guess one of the problems is that I have no idea where to go now. Oh, okay. I found which way to go. But yeah, it was kind of funny because I was actually close enough that I couldn't actually record in landscape mode because the fireworks were so close that only portrait was actually getting, you know, the full range of motion that I wanted to see. So I have a bunch of portrait recordings of the fireworks because I was that close. It was awesome. Like it was just a great spot. I actually got to sit down during the fireworks, which is actually very rare for Boston fireworks for me. So yeah. All right, go ahead and use this. Swing across. Tie this off. Oop. Untie that. Don't die. All right, cool. I did it. I did it. I did it. Off we go into the wild blue yonder. Oh boy. I have no idea. So I feel like this branch is going to get in the way of my swinging, right? Oh, that's as far as you're going to let me go down? Okay, fine. Oh, okay. I can stand on that branch. Excellent. That definitely gets less in the way of my swinging then. Down we go. A little confused what that's trying to tell me, but okay. Gilderoy Lockhart. Sorry, my boss commented that Donald Trump is like a combination of Gilderoy Lockhart and Dolores Umbridge on Twitter over the weekend. Or not my boss, I guess my boss's boss. Okay, so I think what has to happen here... Nope. Okay. So, do we have any moving parts? We got a brick. Let's move this brick. Now, what are we going to do with this brick? We're going to hold this brick. Oh, okay. That was not what I expected to happen. I thought I was going to have to hold the brick in place and lift it somehow, but using it to tip over the thing is good too. I like that, like, I'm like trying to follow this gold dot, which leads me down into this little pit, and then it's just like, oh yeah, I'm out of here. Like, you didn't have to go down here. Like, I was just kind of, you know, giving you a general indication of the way, not, you know, telling you which way to go. So I think one of the things about the puzzles in this game is that they have a little bit less of the... a lot of them have a little bit more of the exploratory nature and less of the, like, hook and change nature. If we go back to Mark Brown's Game Maker's Toolkit video on, like, how puzzles work, there's kind of a missing component where you have this moment of reveal that is key to most puzzle games. So this one's a lot more just kind of like... oh, you just kind of like follow it along without having to really think about it, than a lot of other puzzle games, which I think is why so one of the things I remember about the last time that Brad was watching me play this game, or the first time Brad watched me play this game, rather, the first one, not this one, he was like, is this game getting harder? I can't tell. And there were two factors that led to that. One was that I was actually like playing a pre-recorded VOD, and for time's sake I had edited out some of the like I spent an hour doing something. But there's also that the puzzles don't actually increase in difficulty really. They're all about the same, and a lot of them don't have a very complex hook. So there's a little bit at the end where it probably got a little bit more difficult, but for the most part it's just a pretty chill like game experience. So I don't know. Anyway, how was everyone's week? Did anyone do anything exciting for 4th of July besides or including fireworks? How was your 4th of July? Did you have any time off this week other than the 4th of July, or did you even have 4th of July off, or were you stuck working in the office while everyone was out there doing the things they do? Okay, well that did not work so well. Let's see. So I can push this through here. I'll go ahead and push you to the end. No, I'm going to push you here, leave you there. So my goal at this point is to get this thing to roll up, but not all the way. Nope. I do appreciate that they added the hint system into the game, though. I think that that does make it... Because there's definitely times in Unravel 1 where I was just definitely completely stuck. Like, I was never going to solve a puzzle. It was just never going to happen. And it would have been nice had I been able to do something other than, like, look up a walkthrough. So I don't ever want to give up right away. You know, I want to give it a couple shots. But when you get stuck, I always have guides up for games because that's just the way that I play stuff, so that I don't get stuck on things for too long. But for this game in particular, there's actually a built-in hint system, which is more effective even, because it's designed for hints rather than a walkthrough. There's not really like online hint guides for things for the most part. All right, so like now, yeah. Oh, maybe. Okay, so I'm gonna put Yarny here. There we go. The trick was that I needed to go the other direction from where I was. Yeah, and so in other puzzle games you might expect that they would kind of repeat that same hook with another object that rolls, but add some additional component to it. And I expect that we're going to see a little bit of that, but not as much as we would in a game like, you know, I think the one he used a lot in his video was like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, where basically as the levels went on, they would like add an enemy type, and then they would add like another variation of that enemy type, and then they would mix in a third enemy, and then kind of like build on the whole thing. Okay, so I clearly have to get across these stumps. So let's go back and make our way up and see what we can do. If at first you don't succeed, split your characters in two. And so the two-player mode of this game is basically just one person takes care of each character, and when you do that, you know, you get a little bit more of the co-op experience of going through these things and trying to do them together. You can go through things quicker. Hey, look, I don't make the rules. I just live by them. Damn it, you stupid thing. You misled me again. Okay, so we got the thing here. Oh god, yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. So this is definitely a similar puzzle to the one in Unravel 1 that killed me like a million times. But yeah, so this is another case where splitting your character in two is the right thing, right? Because then I just use them to hook me up, and off we go. But yeah, so you'll see that like in these next 2 or 3 puzzles, we have not ended up using the seesaw with an object pattern at all. Which is kind of unfortunate. You know, it'd be kind of cool if they built on some more of the puzzles to give you something a little bit more, just more. A little more, you know. That's what I'm saying. I do love the like massive swings. It makes me happy. All right, lily pads. We got frogs. The water effects are so beautiful in this game. Like, I mean, the graphics in this game are just beautiful. And I know that I say this all the time, and it gets kind of old because I just say beautiful over and over, but the environments are immersive. The graphics, the photorealism of the graphics combined with the fact that you're in this, like, very small environment that you wouldn't normally see things at is enjoyable and provides a really different experience from a lot of other games. We got a fish jumping after us here, who's hopefully not going to eat us. Oh no! Can I get back out? Okay. So in the previous Unravel game, when you went in the water for not very long, you would drown. So I guess Yarnies have learned how to swim at least a little bit since then. Alright, go ahead and knock that over. Uh-oh, this is a fish. Yeah. Saw that coming. Alright, fish. Oh no! I saw you coming that time too, but I didn't know what to do about it. Okay, jump off the back of the fish. And now he's gonna come in and jump for me. And then backflip me into the land. Okay, so one, do I care about the secret? I mean, I don't care about secrets in general. Do I care about this secret? I don't know. I don't feel like I should. It's right there. But it's only a secret because it's hard to get to, so it's probably got some kind of trick to it that I haven't figured out, so I don't need the secret. Just remember, you don't care about collectibles, Chris. You never do. That's the rule. If that's not a rule of CPG, it should be. Chris cares about completionism, not at all. Okay, swimming Yarny. But I need to do something more. I don't see a second thing anywhere. Nothing back here I have to push. Hello, Barbara! Yes, absolutely, Orchaos. Yeah, it is. I have it at 2K. I have a 2K monitor. I'm playing at 2K, which I never do. Like I said, I usually play at 1280 by 720, and so I'm used to playing in windowed. But you know, I don't mind because it's smaller pixels. But like playing this in full res is definitely like an experience. Yeah, well, so the weird thing is that when I say completion, of course, some people say completionism and they mean like completing everything, and I mean the opposite of that. I mean like the only thing that matters is getting out of finishing the game. I want more things to rack up on my complete games list. The only games that I don't finish are, you know, Echo the Dolphin and you know, frickin' Battletoads. So, you know, everything else gets finished pretty much. I think there's either 3 or 4 total games that I have not finished. Or that I have given up on. I think there's another handful that it's like, well, this is going to be like another 12 hours, like another 3 streams, and I'm not up to it, so. Yeah, that's true. I do not have the upload for that. Okay, so if I come down here... alright, remember, if at first... Oh. Well, okay, so here's the thing. Yarny can only swim if there's 2 of him. Okay, good to know. So I'm trying to think if there's a way, like, this is the thing I keep forgetting. It's that the hook in most of these is to literally just, like, use Yarny as your counterweight. So I wonder if there's some way to do that here. I feel like that's not working for me. Alright, let's tie this here. Anyway, yeah, well, I'd expect the commute to be fast today, because realistically, no one went to work, especially from Google. Alright, don't forget you can pull on knots with your lasso. I mean, sure. Can I do... Okay, let's move him off of here. Aha! Okay. And once again, splitting in two is the only way to success. We will untie this knot, and we'll climb up here. There we go. I mean, so Google would technically have the 4th and the 5th off, but when there's one day after the 4th and the 5th, my guess is that the office was very empty today. I did have one coworker who worked today on my team, but he also took Monday and Tuesday off, so he just took like the earlier half of the week. I took the whole week off. I was just like, I didn't actually take off any time between old job and new job, and I just needed a little bit of time. Wow, nice try, fish. Yeah, you think you're gonna bite me? I don't think so. Whoa, gosh, you're gonna bite me. You're gonna bite me. Oh, I hit him in the head. Okay, well, I killed that fish. Sorry, I am a fish killer. I believe it. Starting on the 4th at fast food sounds like hell. I'm sorry. I did feel kind of bad. So I went, I love funnel cakes, and so the 4th of July in Boston, there's like all these food vendors and everything else like that, and so one of the things they had there were funnel cakes, and what the fuck? We got a brick up here. Oh, okay. Hi. I don't know what I expected that to do, but that wasn't it. We'll go ahead and climb up here, tie the knot off, and jump. Nope. Okay. I'm the psycho fish killer. Oh, okay. Maybe. Can I push this back up here? Oh no, okay, I get it. I have to push this here. Oof. Yeah, so this has been the first day in Boston that it has not been absolutely junk for a while now. So we dealt with weather that was let's see. Go ahead and climb in here. There we go. So yeah, it's been like high 90s and like 80% humidity for the past 2 weeks in Boston, which I think is weather that like the San Francisco area is getting like today or something like that, but it's been just garbagey. And so, but today was finally the first day that it like stayed at like 82. We had a storm that came through in the middle of the day, and I think it's supposed to finally stop being muggy tonight. So I'm looking forward to that because it's just been such a nightmare, but... So, I don't know, Twitch Prime came out 2 years ago at this point, and earlier this weekend, so you can't sign up to Twitch Prime on the Amazon Prime account that isn't the primary, so I can't sign up, like, on, okay, let's untie this, group together. Now, can we smash through this? No, okay, so we have to get that brick. How are we gonna get that brick? We're going to split in half. And then have him swing up here. Now. Is there anything to grab onto here? Oh, there we go. Dumb. Oops. Okay. So we need to have this guy standing here, push this thing like that. Nope. Oh, okay, so there's a tie point. Tie point. Tie point. Nope, that does not work. Oh, there's one over here too. There we go. Hello, Yugi. Yeah, so my daughter just moved back to Palm Springs, and it is 114 there today, to which I say, but luckily we weren't that bad. But I will say the mugginess in Boston is just, it's just bad. It's just rough. Alright, so we're gonna take this away. I'm up here. And now we'll go over here, tie off a point. Oh, did that not tie? Oh, did I not tie that? God damn it. Okay, so that can be a tie point. I just screwed it up. Alright, so we'll go ahead and tie it here. Oh, no, I'm just an idiot. When I went to tie, I hit the A button, which is the untie button, because I keep making that mistake. Okay, tie. And now tie. Now push this up here. Yep. That is the temperature in Palm Springs. It is at least less humid. I will say that. I don't know that I care about the humidity when it's 114 degrees out, but, you know, thank goodness for small favors, I guess. Alright, so we'll untie this, switch to this guy, untie this, and now I believe this will launch me up the hill. Yes, there we go. And we're back together again. But yeah, so it's definitely walking out, like for me even, you know, I have asthma problems, and going out was just like hard to breathe. Like you're just, it's like breathing soup. It was bad. So overnight, I think that we are supposed to finally get a respite from the humidity here for the first time in 2 weeks. Oh my goodness, that's not a rock, it's a swan. Evil deathbird. Excellent. Anyway, so yeah, so I set up, yeah, so now it's finally cooled off. The rain helped it cool off. And it's supposed to get down to like 62 overnight. And there's this massive like dew point drop that's going to come along with it. Let me see if I can find a picture of it real quick. Alright, so we finished that level. Excellent. Oh, I think. Did we? I don't know. There we go. Good job, me. Yep. Yeah, so I think there's another storm coming by tonight that's going to do that. Alright, and this is probably going to break that lock. Excellent. Alright, yeah, so if we look at this... Nope, that didn't work. Hold on. Capturing the wrong browser window. Nope, other one. There we go. Yeah, so this big, like, all of this is the temperature drop, the dew point drop, basically. And I think that's when the rains come in, we're gonna see the dew point drop from 72 to 42, and I believe that means that we will get a much cooler feeling evening, and it's supposed to be like a low of 60 overnight, which is great. My house will actually cool off, and it'll be amazing. Okay, so we will go ahead and pull on this, separate, and go upsy baby, oopsie mozzie, upsy daisy. Cheers. I'm drinking the Artifact Wild Thing single varietal craft cider. It does not have any funny wording, I don't think. A crisp, tart 100% Macintosh cider with exotic aromatics and a balanced finish. Did I actually switch my game back to being... Yeah, I did. Okay. Okay. Back to the game. Put you two together. Is that all there is the next chapter, in which the machine tries to grind us down? That's how I feel about my life pretty much all the time. Oh yeah, I'm back in my office. I was downstairs with the bookcases for a little while, but with Alicia going back to California, I have my office back. I love it. I love having more space. I was very tight with the bookcases, like literally my knees touch the Rubbermaid container on which my monitors are sitting. So to be able to have like all of this space to like reach out, oh, it's so lovely. I actually had to take my camera and zoom it in like another 2 steps to get the nice clean headshot that I wanted because, you know, I couldn't before. Whoa! Oh god. Okay, so this is the same kids who are painting birds' colors, climbing over a fence. I love the storytelling. I wish, I guess... So I feel like in the previous Unravel, I feel like there was more storytelling. They had like 12 chapters instead of just 7, and I felt like I was getting more of a sense of story. I guess the other thing is that like I actually went through it all twice, which probably helps because you know more of the story the second time through. So, hello, Jose. Welcome to the stream. East Germany yarn. So in Nevada, it looks like it's not... That would be, not German, right? I don't know if German has that A letter that I was seeing. What the fuck do I do with this? Okay, so we got bullets on the ground. Oh, we gotta drive a forklift? Yeah. Forklift up, baby. Uh-oh, we got bad red sparks coming in. Get ready, 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 ready to run. I guess that's another thing is that like in the previous version of the game, there was never a case where you had enemies that weren't natural. It's these weird, ghostly, otherworldly shadow sprite things are definitely a change, so... Yes, you are old, Jose. Bad red sparks is what you have in California now. Yeah, well, I hear it's also really hot out there. Maybe not by you. I was just saying that for Alicia, it's 114 degrees today. Oh, yeah, so the other thing is that it's because Alicia was flying on the 4th, I actually said like, hey, you should look out the window at all the fireworks as you're landing because it's going to be like a kind of cool thing. And she was like, yeah, but I won't see any. And I'm like, just look, you know, when it comes to you're coming into LA, like see what you can see, and see if you see something. Because I flew on the 4th once, and it was kind of cool because from high up you can actually see all these different fireworks going on at the same time. Now, she got a slightly different experience because it turns out that in downtown LA in particular, everyone just lights off their own fireworks. Like, there's not, like, it's not that you have all of the different cities that you can see fireworks from, but rather that, like, everyone decides to do their own personal fireworks show. Let me see if I can find this real quick. And so she got a chance to see, like, just tons and tons of fireworks. Yeah, here we go. I don't care about volume, and I don't actually like this one as much as this one. So yeah, so you can see all of the, you know, various fireworks things that she's got going on at the same time here. And it's not that these are all different fireworks shows, but just that every little sparkle that you're seeing across this entire area is an individual lighting fireworks. And then they also, let's see, tweets and replies. There was someone else who did it, I think was lower flying on a helicopter. And you can see the same basic thing. It's just some millions and millions of little like fireworks that people are shooting off outside their houses, which is kind of crazy. Like I mean, it's like in Boston, I'm just used to our fireworks shows being a big deal. So like, you know, our grand finale of fireworks is, you know, we got a lot of different things going on. But yeah, so we've got a lot of going on in our fireworks, but that doesn't compare in any way to what Alicia was seeing in all these illegal videos that that she was seeing. So, all right, back to the game. Yeah, the reality is that people don't realize that fireworks are dangerous, I think, somehow. You would think that all the things that we put out, you know, PSAs and everything else like that, would achieve the goal of convincing people of this, but turns out that the answer is no, they don't, for some reason, and so, you know, it is what it is. Oh gosh, let's go this way. Cool. Avoided the weird sparky things. Red sparks, ahoy! Okay, yeah, so I finally set up Amazon Prime on my, or Twitch Prime on my Twitch account, and what this means is that, oh shit, they got caught, is that I finally have the ability to watch Twitch without ads. And as someone who's been like a YouTube Red subscriber for forever, Twitch was super annoying because every like second video that you watch, you would see an ad. And so like, I'm like, okay, well, I don't know who I want to watch. I'm going to watch like 4 seconds of this person, then 4 seconds of this person, or whatever else like that. And like every other stream, I would be seeing like, you know, a 30-second unskippable ad. Now, 30-second unskippable ads are an abomination. I think they're even gone from YouTube entirely at this point. And second of all, like you've got to give me a little bit more than 8 seconds of video watching before you show me another ad. And so it was always just really disappointing to me because I was like, I want to explore this platform and learn what's out there, but I can't. And then I finally set up my Twitch Prime account and I'm like, now I can browse in peace. And that's cool. So I did a little bit of exploring of Twitch this weekend, kind of looked through various communities, and of course there's things like there's creative, and there's IRL, and there's talk shows, and there's like different stream teams and communities and all this other stuff. So trying to understand the platform a little bit more, and see if there's something there for either the average person or for me. One of the things that has always been a concern on YouTube is that although gaming has this nice home where we have collected and show you what games people are playing and really give you a sense of who is streaming gaming content, that isn't true for most other content on the platform. Is the game audio too loud, or am I good? And so it can be really hard to get a sense of who is streaming things that aren't okay. Oh no! I'm dumb. Okay. Get off. Have him come up here. And then him come over here. And then do this. Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, I adjusted the position of my mic around the time I started the stream, so it probably got loud while I wasn't looking. Anyway, okay, so this is locked. I get the feeling I'm gonna have to unlock that, but maybe I won't, we'll see. This is also locked, same. But yeah, so I was able to spend a lot more time kind of browsing through Twitch and getting more of a sense of what's on the platform, as well as, you know, what's not. I still think that YouTube suffers in having a community of live streamers doing things that aren't gaming because they, I don't know, they, whatever, this platform that we are hanging out on right now doesn't have the same level of kind of visibility of non-gaming streams. So if you're a gamer, you know that there are 27,000 people playing Fortnite right now. But if you're sewing, there's nothing that tells you, like, here are the 10 other people doing sewing content right now. If you're doing art, if you're doing drawing, if you're doing whatever, like, a lot of these things actually have a moderate-sized presence on YouTube. where if you search for art, live, you will oftentimes find a ton of different content out there for live stuff, and so you can know that. And keep in mind, or in this case, I'm thinking not of like the discovery for the purposes of a viewer, although I disagree with you a little bit, because I think that while separate discovery is maybe not good, I think that the overall discovery is largely driven by recommendations, which I think are not terrible. But rather, the idea that people should stream art on YouTube, I think is hard. And so even people who've been streaming on YouTube for a long time, they're like, wait, you mean I can stream art on YouTube? And I'm like, yeah, like, why would you think you couldn't? And you're like, well, because there's no art drop down in the category, so why would I be able to stream art? And it's like, but that's not, like, that's not how YouTube works. Like, and so I think that that is a missing piece for building the greater creative community. And like, you know, I was talking to somebody at VidCon who was like, well, like, if you were going to do, like, pool trick shots or something like that, you would clearly do that on Twitch. And I'm like, you know, maybe, but when I look around, most of the, like, pool trick shot community for VOD is clearly on YouTube. And it's not clear to me that that has, like, a niche and a home very much on Twitch. So maybe you wouldn't. Maybe you would build it up on YouTube, but only if you could know that that's a thing you could do. And a lot of people just don't seem to get that. Yeah, well, so, I mean, I think, like, in theory, anything's possible, right? We know that there's topic pages out there, and adding a live shelf to every topic page seems like a thing. I think the biggest problem with topic pages is that they have the same browsability problem. You know, I've definitely told people before, like, okay, go into search and type the thing you're looking for -topic, and they, like, pull up the page and they're like, this is great. Like, why didn't I know about this? Like, why didn't I know that there was just, like, an American Ninja Warrior page that I could go to, and there would be all these, like, great highlight reels of American Ninja Warrior or whatever their particular interest is. And while adding a live section to that page would be cool, it doesn't really do much for you without an overall category discovery feature. And, you know, my opinions are my own and not those of my employer, but it does feel like that's a piece of the puzzle that is missing on the Twitch versus YouTube side. So topic pages are automatic, but if you search for, like, topic name space -topic, then if there is one, it will show up. Yeah, or the system is just miscategorizing them. I used to care a lot more about those. Again, I think that a lot of that comes down to, I think the gaming page does its job, has already, like, realistically, I think the gaming page has already done its job in making people aware that they can stream gaming on YouTube, and anything else it does from this point on, I think is kind of like, like, it's nice, and I'm not saying that there shouldn't be more that's done to surface these things, but mostly I'm like, meh, like, it's not the way that most people discover content. And even among my viewership, which has always been very, like, YouTube gaming focused, I think that it is, like, the top 100 streams on gaming is not a real way that a lot of people find things. In the same way that the top 100 streams on Twitch is not a way that I, like, find interesting things. Like, I go to a category that I'm interested in and browse it. And so it looks stupid, and it kind of sucks. And I think it's a thing to do better, always. But whether it matters a lot is something that I have a much harder time with. Fuck. Yeah, so I think that the key things that I think are missing in the live space would be to have, like, an overall list of the topics that currently have someone live on them. And then I think the reality is that I think that maybe the quality is still not, maybe compellingly high for some people, so. Leo Shem. Alright. I will not remember that at all, but someone else should remember that and tell me. Oh, yeah, look at that, baby. You can try and burn me up all night long, but I will just roll past you. What? Oh, okay. I was like, why is that moving and then not moving? What the fuck is this? Didn't notice that I had stepped on a pedal. That's true if you're looking at something that's gaming in the US. It is not true overall. Oh shit. Okay, so that'll kill me. So be careful. Oh, god damn it. So it's not necessarily contingent on people being honest in what they're streaming, because YouTube can correct some things, but it's contingent on YouTube recognizing what they're streaming, which is a related but not quite the same topic. Okay, so we're gonna bring you around. Have you... No, I feel like this is not right. Yeah, no. Okay. Have you come through here? Have blue go here? No! But that's where you're wrong. YouTube's actually pretty good at knowing these things. YouTube has a whole categorization system that uses things like the description, things like the title, and so it doesn't necessarily have to be tagged in a specific way. It does have to have metadata that says it, because there's just like not a real effective way to process the live stuff and get it in there, but it doesn't necessarily have to be tags, and so I think that's one thing that people get confused by, is they're like, well, since I'm not putting it in some kind of explicit categorization system, it must not be possible. And that's not accurate. So I'm confused. I'm gonna turn this down a little. I feel like this is getting very loud. Okay, so if I come up here, that did not work. I don't want any hints, damn it. I'm gonna figure this one out on my own, and when I'm not, I'll ask for a hint. Okay. So I can take this character and get them up here, but I don't know how I can get myself through there if I do that. I need to figure out a way to get back down and up without a swing. There we go. Oh, god damn it. Yeah, so I have to swing around the left side. Up here, up here. Swing over the wall. Ah! And then, here we go. But yeah, so game pages and topic pages are probably very closely related. I think there's some specialization for game pages because they have like the description from Wikipedia and stuff like that on YouTube Gaming. Okay, that was bad. I see. Okay, so... Huh. Can't squeeze through there. Okay, so I need to split apart because that's the answer to every puzzle. Oh, can you? You can. Oh, good going, Matus. Well, okay, I gotta walk a little bit more carefully, but yeah, so one of the things I was interested in was whether Twitch had like any massive categories that were kind of like not covered by like YouTube's existing content. And while I think that it is, I still stand by my belief that the English language and North American Twitch community, excuse me, is more broad than the creative community is more broad, or has more viewership than the YouTube version. And in general, Twitch has more live viewership on gaming than the YouTube version. There's nothing there that like you can't find any of on YouTube. You know, people doing talk shows, people doing cooking, people doing art. I think that there's a lot more sophistication in a lot of the people on Twitch who've been doing it for longer. And I think it definitely is the place to go, especially for creative stuff. I think gaming, I have not noticed nearly as much of a difference, but for creative stuff. But that is not... It's not like there's some like massive category which is completely uncovered in YouTube that is available in Twitch. Alright. Walk back this way. Walk like an Egyptian. Oh shit, now what? Aha! Cool. Gaming live or YouTube live? I mean, I don't know that it's a lot different than the no, it is. I mean, it just is. It sucks. It's not sufficiently good. Yeah, so the main / live page I think is not good, and what I would love to see, I would love it to look like more like what the gaming page looks like. I think it should have live from your subscriptions at the top as a shelf. I think that it should have a shelf of like what topics people are streaming things on, and it could link to the topic pages that have live streams currently. They should be categorized into like either high level or ideally much more narrow categories, and you should be able to do something very similar. Like if I was going to mock it out, it would look very similar to the gaming live page, and that's what I would do. The other thing that I think should be done, and I mean, I've talked about, none of this is new, I've talked about this all before, I still feel exactly the same way, is that the live page should have kind of unique shelves that are like interesting. Like newest streamer should be a category. Like small streamer should be like, Twitch has communities and YouTube doesn't like, you know, social media features because that's totally unreasonable on a large social media platform. But like having a shelf for this person has only streamed, you know, less than N times, and each time had less than 20 viewers or something like that. Like, have a small streamer shelf. Have a mobile games that, you know, you like shelf. Have all these other things. Like, YouTube has all these informations about your viewing history and about your preferences. Tie that in and give me some recommendations using this magical, mystical, wonderful, you know, information you have, and help me out. Help me find someone good to watch. And Twitch is kind of trying to do that now. I think they just announced that they're doing this new browse-oriented homepage, which feels like it's kind of aping after YouTube's recommendations, although I don't... My experience with it so far has not been good, but I'm not a huge Twitch watcher, so maybe it's, you know, based on people who have more history than I do or something. I don't... Can I do something with this? Oh, okay. I can push the button. But But again, I think that promoting YTG effectively was not the goal. The goal was to make creators aware that they could use YouTube to stream gaming, and I think they've done that. I think that if you looked at YouTube, like if you looked at the top 100 most streamed games, or the top 20 most streamed games, when YouTube gaming started, there were none that had more than, oh, this is gonna be bad. Something's gonna go really wrong here. Yep. You know, there were none that had more than 100 people streaming them. Now YouTube has, you know, Fortnite, like 4,000 Fortnite streams, 2,000 Minecraft streams. It has done the needful to create a platform that people know they can stream games on, and I think that if YouTube gaming did nothing but that, I would call it a success. And you can say it didn't do it effectively enough, but I would say that given that there are, you know, tens of thousands of people who are streaming on YouTube now that were not before gaming launched, then you know, mission accomplished. Does that mean that, you know, everything is solved? No, of course not. There's always more that any platform can do to make the experience better for people who are broadcasters on it or viewers of it or anything else. But I'm not convinced that YouTube gaming as a standalone platform like offers a ton of value. I would rather kind of have all of those features be folded into the main YouTube app where, you know, the viewership is, because I just don't think that there's that much differentiation that you need to offer to a gaming audience. I think that like the live watch page on YouTube gaming is just flat out better, and I don't care if you're watching gaming or an art stream. I think that experience with a bigger chat would be better. I don't care if you're, you know, like these things that YouTube gaming added are not really gaming specific for the most part. Oh yeah, I mean dark mode is better. I think that the live stream page on YouTube gaming is better and should be merged back into the main YouTube app. Like as a platform for experimentation, and doing things in a better way, I think that's great. And YouTube gaming clearly pioneered the like the mini player previews, which end up being, you know, maybe something you can't do for everyone, but like provided a nice feature, and then ended up being integrated into the main app in YouTube as like these thumbnail previews for videos. It doesn't work as for live streams, but they, you know, ended up doing something reasonable with it to try and create, you know, what they could of that experience that would apply to a broader audience. And I think that was an interesting thing too, but I don't think that's really worth maintaining a separate platform. Well, I think YouTube for artists is more for music artists, and I think that that's targeted at a very specific and narrow niche. Okay, so what? I have to... Okay. Like this? No. Oh, okay. Tie here, and then hop on, and then untie? Okay, that was dumb. Okay. So, tie, 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 jump, jump, untie, jump, oh crap. Okay, so, tie, tie. Hello, Stingray! Did you finish up Axion Verge? Stingray Gaming, another member of the YouTube Gaming Retro Squad, has been one of my long-term friends on the platform and plays retro games 5 days a week or so here on YouTube. God damn it, why do I keep doing that? I do not need to do anything to close this vent. Alright, there we go. Untie. Now, you can go over here, untie again, and here we go. Oh no! Oh no! Blue Yarny! Oh, how did Red get over there? Alright, cool. But yeah, so there's all this idea of like, oh, we should have promoted, like, YouTube should have promoted this more, or it would have been better if it was promoted more. And I think the reality is that when you look at it, And when you look at the reaction, while there was certainly a core group of users, oh shit, who were really excited about YouTube gaming, I'm not sure that it made a lot of sense to promote it more, because for people who were not super into gaming and didn't want to only watch gaming content and really didn't want to focus primarily on gaming live content, I don't think that they were, excuse me. I don't think that there's enough value, there ended up being enough value there. Like, it was better to spend the time on building those features into the main app than it would be to try and, like, promote something else. And just have gaming be a thing for people who wanted to use it and not try and force it on people. But again, I think the primary goal and the primary benefit and the primary win of YouTube gaming was 100% to make people aware that, like, YouTube cared about gaming and that you could stream gaming content on YouTube. And I think that there is no evaluation that I can do from the outside that I look at that and think that that has not been successful. I really think that it has been. I think it has been massively successful. I remember, like, realistically, when YouTube gaming launched, the expectation from people on Twitch was, like, there will never be anybody who uses this platform. There will never be anybody famous. There will never be anybody well-known. And if you look at Nick F, I don't know what his name is, who's doing this Fortnite streaming shit, like, he's getting, like, 30,000 concurrents, which is 100% competitive with, you know, people who are streaming, like, maybe not the #1 top streamer on Twitch, but definitely, like, top streamers on Twitch. That's something that, you know, no one thought was going to happen when YouTube gaming launched in the community. Everyone thought it was going to be a total dead end, that no one would ever use the platform, that it was just a joke, a laughing stock. And that's not the case anymore. No, I was just arguing about whether gaming was important separately from anything else like that. So, like, YouTube gaming is still, you know, a thing that people use, is still under development, whatever, but it's still the case that, to me, that I think it has done its job, in my opinion. Yeah, like, what the fuck are we doing here, she's saying. And now we got the security guard after her again. Good. Really don't like these guys. On the other hand, what the fuck are you doing in a factory, kids? Go to school. God damn. But yeah, we were talking, Stingray, a little bit about, like, what I would personally like to see for live stream discovery. You know, it has been a conversation we've had a couple of times, that I think that Twitch's categorization-based system, while flawed, offers specific benefits for convincing people that there is a community to stream in. And it doesn't mean that the platform is better or worse. It doesn't mean that, you know, it's something that you... Oh, what do I have to do here? Just untie and... Oh, no, need to retie that. How do I... Alright, so, what do we gotta do here? We gotta... Okay, so you're gonna tie here, you're gonna tie here, and here. Nope. You're gonna go up. No, that leaves me with the exact same problem. Oh god! Okay. Woo! Yeah, so Rares was an example of someone who really pushed the Y2G platform. And let's just be clear. I think that the gaming live page, again, for hardcore users, for power users, I think that the functionality of the gaming live page is crucial, and for creators. Like, I think those are the three groups. It's for hardcore users who are just looking for live and want to find something to watch, for creators who are trying to understand what is out there and being streamed, and for people who are power users and want to look for something very specific. I think that the gaming live page is a godsend, and I think that we should replicate it not just for gaming, but for everything. And I think that we should put it in the main app, and I think we should make it more prominent. I think that the live page on the main app and YouTube that is currently, ooh, that's trouble. I don't know, Stingray. I think that I'm gonna look for the negative community. Yeah, well, and I said, I think that the YTG live, I actually don't like it as much for non-live content where I don't have the chat I want to see as well. But for live content, I think that YTG, absolutely, the live watch page is better. It's just better. But it's not better for gaming. It's better. And that's why I think it should also be on the main app in YouTube. Excuse me. And I actually think that the theater mode button on Twitch is actually even better than gaming's page, because I think that it gets rid of the extra, like currently gaming is clearly trying to allow you to see recommendations on the live page. I never click on those recommendations. Like, I never ever do. But yeah, Stingray, I think the Twitch communities are interesting because they allow you to kind of just tag yourself with a public tag. I mean, they're like tags on any other platform, right? And I'm actually a big fan of tags as a way of self-organization. And YouTube obviously has the idea of tags, but doesn't use them for categorization that other people can see. So they use them internally, but don't... No, I didn't want to go there. I don't want to go there. God damn it. Go back. I wasn't paying attention and I don't know where my next level is. Back. Okay. Maybe up here? Oh, maybe up here. Go here. Climb up. Yes. Okay, cool. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The one who eats the fastest gets the most. No, never mind. So yes, the things that YouTube Gaming has going for it, one, the live page, which I think should be replicated on YouTube, should be categorized at least at the high levels that YouTube gives you, like lifestyle, news, politics, whatever. But ideally at more granular levels like topic pages, possibly grouped into some kind of semantic categories at the top level. And it should, and that page should exist, and the live page should then, once it is good, and then it can also have like a couple of interesting shelves for you. I think currently the live page shelves are just not all that good, and I think they could be better. The fact that I can think of a bunch of things that I've never seen makes me feel that way. And I think a lot of it comes back down to if people remember, like, Netflix not too long ago. Can I, like, pull this? No. Huh. Oh, this way. Yeah, and I will say that, like, from a technical level, there are actually reasons why the main YouTube watch page doesn't do exactly what YouTube Gaming does. Like, it's actually a significant performance drain to do it in exactly that way. It is much better for you to not have to resize the video. Much better for your browser to not have to resize the video. So it's possible that it's just not practical to do exactly what YouTube Gaming does for everyone. But at the very least, like, adding a theater mode that doesn't seem like it should be the end of the world. Okay, I'm gonna that have you climb up over. Cool. And done. Yeah, so now you can tell we're getting towards the end game. Just like in Unravel 1, the music has become a lot more creepy. So YouTube already has a theater mode, but the theater mode on live watch pages should do something more like what YouTube Gaming does. It should give you a full height chat. It should give you a flexi size window, and maybe you don't want to do that for non-live pages, and maybe you don't want to make it sticky. I don't think adding a whole other button for live specifically makes sense, but the live layout on YouTube Gaming is just good. And as someone who watches oftentimes in a narrow browser and has the video then get smaller and then has the chat get smaller is actually even more of a problem. This is like a real strong thing, I believe, and that got worse with the change to Polymer. Like the Polymer change was definitely a step backwards as far as how much vertical height I got from that. So let's see. I want to go ahead and climb up here. Oh god. Okay, so I need to come here, I need to tie this off, and then I need to climb up. Jump up here. Oh god. We got fire after us, Blue. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, the search bar is there, but compare it to the amount of vertical space that's assigned to the chat in... And this is why I say, like I think Twitch's theater mode is better in that regard. Twitch really gets rid of everything except for the video and the chat, and I think that that's the ideal thing to do. But keeping the search bar and the recommendations bar is important for whatever. I mean, maybe it's important. I don't know. But... Oh, okay. Well, that didn't go so well. But I think even on YouTube, it's better than... Yeah, so that's the primary thing that's better on YouTube Gaming, and it should absolutely be possible to do that on YouTube. I don't think there's any good reason not to do it. I don't know exactly how to... Nope. Okay, so there's got to be a trick to it. Okay, so you, Red, go over here. Tie to this, then come over here and pull from far away. Yes, cool. But yeah, so maybe the answer, because doing variable size, because scaling the video is actually computationally like problematic, maybe the answer is that, you know, you can't do the, like, scale the video to every size that you do on YouTube Gaming on the YouTube main app, and instead you have to make it an option. Maybe. I don't know. That would be the type of thing that a product team would have to look at and decide, but I certainly hope that that's the type of thing that people are thinking about. That's all. Because when I watch Art Sherpa, like, I tend to watch her on YouTube just because, like, getting her video to show up on YouTube Gaming is different. And is intermittent is really what it is. And so I would like to watch her on, and I could change it. I know I could change it, but it would be cool if that worked well. Okay, so let me think. I need to get up here. There we go. All right. Together, boys, let's go. Oh, this game's so pretty. Sorry, I know, I say it all the time. But yeah, so I don't know, I tuned into, the other thing about the community stuff is that in just like tags on YouTube, they're not super accurate. Like when I tune into somebody playing games who was tagged with a politics tag, he wasn't talking about politics. The same way if I tagged myself with a politics tag, I wouldn't be talking about politics. Like I tagged myself with the communities that I'm part of. I'm part of a retro community, I'm part of a small streamers community, I'm part of a politics community. Why? Because I talk about politics more than your average Twitch streamer. Is that actually relevant information for me as a viewer? I don't know. I think that, like, I would really kind of rather that those communities were used in a way that they were kind of accurately describing the content right now. And I feel like a lot of people that I kind of watched were less that way. Like, even one of the people I tuned into that was, like, chill streamer. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. I like chill streams. Or like small streamer, and it's like, yeah, okay, you say small streamer, but you have like 700 viewers right now, and you have, you know, 73,000 followers. Like, we clearly have different definitions of small. Like, that's not giant by any stretch of the imagination, but it's also not what I would consider a small streamer. Fucking heck, there we go. Nope. Damn it. So communities are really an interesting thing. They're designed for basically public grouping. Anyone can use them, so they're not like stream teams where I think you have to like join a stream team and be approved by the owner. They're just tags, but they're public tags, and I think tags should be public. Like in general, I am 100% supportive of that. I think YouTube actually has that feature now. Where you can put like hashtags in your description and then it'll like link to a search for the hashtag, which is basically the same thing, just with more convention around it, and again with a browser interface. And I know that browser interfaces don't drive a lot of traffic. I do. I think they are entirely a tool for and the same is true of like tag views on LiveJournal and other stuff like that. It's entirely for someone who is a creator trying to say, is this an experience that like is common on this platform, or a thing that I should be using, or whatever, and that's really where the trick lies, and I think that's okay, so I can bounce quickly over the fire but not slowly. I have no idea. I have not looked at the APIs at all. It certainly seems like it would be possible to me. Twitch has certainly put a lot of effort into making shit. Making shit, yes, that's exactly it. Making their community, or their service more API accessible. So I would be unsurprised if that was the case. But I do not know. I have not looked. And that was another thing that kind of interested me. I think that creative actually doesn't have categories. So like in gaming, you pick a game title and it's separate. But for IRL and for creative, they're actually just communities. So they use communities as basically, like I said, their public tagging system, which was an interesting thing for me to realize, and I didn't really understand what that meant until I until I dug a bit more into it, which means that really you could have like a community, like an LGBT community tag that was like I'm streaming creative in the LGBT community or something like that. I don't know if anybody does that or if that's really meaningful. And again, with most of this stuff, like the reason that you care about using a particular word or phrase or community or anything else like that is all about discovery of and accessibility to other people who are doing similar things to you on the platform. It is interesting to me that like one side of this log is caught fire, but the other three have not, even though it is rolling over something hot enough to burn my little yarn thing to death. Yes, fire is bad for yarn. That is correct. We did figure that out back in the factory, and now the entire forest is on fire for reasons that are not entirely clear to me. I don't think it had anything to do with the kids that I'm, chasing. But... okay. So I think I have to get to the top of that. Maybe I have to, oh shit. I was thinking that maybe I'd have to, like, tie onto it like I did for the other things, but... does not appear so. Okay, so that turns into fire, so I have to solve my problem before I get there. There we go. You got it right, Org. Yeah, and I think that, I mean, that's, we were talking about this earlier in another channel on Discord today, which is like, you know, a little bit of how much is being trans, like, advocacy for people, how much is it, you know, other things, and, you know, and far be it for me, like, I'm exploring a culture that I know nothing about. So let's just be very clear here that when I say, like, this isn't what I want, it's like, yeah, so what? Like, it's not your community, it's not your show, it's not your circus, it's not your monkeys. You don't get to decide what you, like, what you want is not relevant here. So let me just be clear and say that I get that that is absolutely the case. I don't get to make the rules for what things should look like on Twitch unless I'm gonna go start streaming on Twitch and talking to people about it. And I get that, but I don't know. Just it was interesting to kind of browse around and see that, and kind of explore how various things worked, and see if they kind of matched my expectations. All right, let's slide down a little more here. There we go. Tie that off. And now we should be able to, hopefully, nope. Okay, so first of all, we've got to get blue up to the top here. So let's go ahead and do that. Good blue. It's good a blue. No? Oh, okay, there we go. Scudevoo. Okay. And now... no. Okay. So am I going to be able to make the swing here over to that right-hand side? Doesn't look like it. I don't think I can make it to the left or the right. And this is like, so like, you know, there's lots of people out there who are active LGBT advocates or proponents. I mean, proponents is the wrong word, but people who are actively out there and acting as LGBT community advocates on YouTube for VOD. And it comes up in a lot of cases for people who are doing things outside of activism because, you know, it's a big part of your life. And it's something that you have to, like, you have to cope with every day. In the same way as, you know, there's this whole big hubbub today about Jessica, somebody who was fired from ArenaNet, and how, you know, she has to deal with being a female game developer every day. It's just part of the life that she has to live because of the job that she puts together, and that means that she's constantly being harassed, she's constantly being treated like she's customer service, she's constantly being like all of these other things that really kind of change her overall experience, which means that even like minor, what would otherwise be minor things can be extremely exhausting and frustrating, and resulted in this case in, I think, you know, a series of escalations from people acting in bad faith. Maybe not initially, but especially later on, that resulted in her getting fired and her coworker getting fired for attempting to, like, you know, attempting to defend her, and that's shitty. It's shitty that she has to deal with these things enough that she was frustrated by it. It's shitty that, you know, we live in a world where that's kind of the sadly and not uncommon expectations. And a lot of that dates back to the initial, like, GamerGate debacle of earlier. I did not know, I know nothing about GamerGate. I was not a gamer in 2014. I mostly avoided gamers, especially once I started working for YouTube, because there was this whole, like, copyright stuff, and I didn't understand how it was supposed to work on YouTube, and I didn't want to get involved in it at all. And so I don't know that side so much, but a lot of the tactics of how people interact around these things are very much built out of that time of GamerGate as well. I am struggling a bit here. Yep, I am a fake gamer. It's true. Damn. Okay. Soundtrack is fire, it's true. Overall, I loved, I mean, again, I'm gonna apologize over and over again for saying the exact same things. In addition to the fact that the soundtrack literally contains fire, the soundtrack in Unravel and the overall, the art direction, the, like, style, the realism, as well as the mix of looking at something from a very different angle, is all something that I think is just, like, amazingly done. Okay, so what am I supposed to do now? Not effective. And it's one of those things that really reminds me that, like, video games are not just games. They're works of art. They're works of art put together by teams of designers of a bunch of different types, some more traditional art style designers, some musicians and composers and you know, graphic designers and 3D modelers and, like, interaction designers, and all of these different pieces all have to fit together to make this amazing experience. And while Unravel concentrates on a particular type of that experience, every game puts those things in different ways. And so when you look at Thomas Was Alone, like the characters in that game are just blocks. The game is not like traditionally beautiful in any way, but the narration and the storytelling are just beautiful. This game, you know, concentrates more on the right, split in two. Concentrates more on the graphic elements and tries really hard to get those right. You have games that do each of these things, different things, and really just do them all differently and well. And it makes me happy. All right, cool. Oh shit, dead. While I do like the switch back and forth characters thing, I do feel like too many of the puzzles just rely on that explicitly as a hook. Like, as soon as you've decided to split your characters in two, you know exactly what needs to happen, and there's no longer a lot of puzzle to it. And I mean, it's not that that's not interesting, but it is a little bit less compelling. Oh, absolutely. Well, that's why I point to Thomas Was Alone as a different type of game that I think concentrates on a different element of the gameplay and the design and interaction and other things like that. Storytelling can be a key part of that. And so the storytelling in this game is interesting because it's told in a different way, but it's still another part of the art because you're telling stories in a silent way. In text-based RPGs, you're telling stories and opening people's eyes to all these other things. And so there's tons of different ways to do these different things. And this is, the problem that I have is that I tend to forget that video games are art until I'm faced with something that acts as a more traditional art form, at which point I'm reminded, like, it's not just this. It's not that, like, this is the only game that's art. They're all art. Like, they're all art, and they've always been art, and I just never noticed until I'm looking at something that's more traditional and matches my expectations better. And then you look at it and you're like, yeah, but like, if you look at the world of, you know, even like 5th edition D&D, and you're like, holy crap, like this is storytelling in this massive world in a beautiful set of words. And if you look at, you know, Colossal Cave, which, yes, although dated, was absolutely like eye-opening, and how many hours people spent, you know, doing it, and has maintained its place in the collective cultural consciousness, in the phrase, like, you know, phrases like XYZCY as a passphrase, or, you know, you may be eaten by a grue, and those things don't survive for generation upon generation because they're like dull and boring. They survive because people realize that, like, this is interesting. Like, this is storytelling on a scale that, you know, is otherwise non-existent. So yeah, I totally agree that, you know, we tend to ignore all the art in the games that we have and all of the uniqueness in the games that we have because it doesn't match our traditional forms of art. And a game like this reminds me of the traditional forms of art, which also makes me realize, like, how much I'm missing it all the other times, so. And I would say that, like, some of these things are more artistic, and some are more, I think, like, technical, maybe. At least as far as how I look at them. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. If I pull this down, and then I swap characters, and then I pull this down, and I swap characters, and then I pull this down, and I swap characters, but I can't get to the next one. Fuck. Alright. Oh. So I have to tie to this, and then this. And then I need to pull down here. There you go. Good job. Oh no, this thing's gonna catch on fire. Oh no, it's not. Okay. I just gotta say, putting out fires is rarely that easy, but I'm not convinced that that's art. I think that that's a different form of expression. I definitely think that expressing how fucked you are can certainly be an art, but it's a slightly different thing. Then it will be art. I agree. I think that there are a wide range of visual novels out there that do a wide range of different things, so. I left behind a little glowing area. Alright, so we came out the fire extinguisher, which makes sense because that was the fireplace. You have room to stream interpretive dance, Jose? Because if so, I definitely need to come to your house more often. I have 2.5 feet this way. I have like 9 this way, but it's hard to dance interpretive dance in 2.5 feet. All the way up to Daisy. Okay, so before I go into chapter 7, which I believe is the last chapter, it's just about 11 o'clock, and that means it is time for your CPG rant of the evening. I'm the Chris who plays games, and this is your CPG commentary of the evening. So over the past few months, years, whatever, we've been talking a little bit about how I vote and how I see politics in the world, and I know that there are a lot of people out there who disagree with me, and that is totally understandable because I'm a crazy left-wing liberal who lives in Massachusetts and believes in a lot of crazy things. But I think there's one thing that most of the people who are here in this chat and in this channel and in this video and anything else like that actually believe that they share with me and believe in. And what that thing is that we should care about people. That in general, we should care about people and try and do and find our way to the best to find and help people. Now, overall, the Republican Party that exists at the moment is not doing that, in my opinion. And I think in the opinion of most people. That the Republican Party has lost its way and is no longer doing that. But some people look and say, well, the Democrats aren't good either. And you're right. The reality is that there are a whole lot of Democratic candidates out there who are not good. In fact, some of them are borderline terrible. But I think when looking at voting, when looking at making a decision about maximizing the amount of good that can be done in the world, there's something that you can look at and say, look, you can still make a strategic choice. And so earlier today, as I was skimming through Twitter, one of the people that I follow and have followed since before the election offered this voting guide that she offered. And this isn't going to apply to everybody who hears this. This isn't going to apply to every single person. But I think it is important. If you have ever looked and been at the fence and said, I'm just going to sit at home, or said, I don't think I can vote for the Democrat because blah, blah, blah. Like, there is more that we can do in the world. And this is one of the things that you should know to do it. So this is from Alexander Aaron on Twitter. There's a link to her channel or her Twitter in the description below. But this is her voting guide as she posted earlier today. So step 1, assume that many people who should be able to vote will be prevented from doing so, and if you can vote, vote on their behalf. Vote for them. Assume that no race will be won, but every race can be won. Announce your intent to vote early and often, and vote angry. Because the reality is that the world that we're in is a source of anger. If you hate the Democratic candidate for the race, if you hate the Democratic Party, I would ask you to think of it this way. Look at the frontrunners in the contest and realize that one or the other will be your enemy for 2 to 6 years, depending on whether you're voting for House or Senate. Which one would you rather be fighting? Look at Ocasio-Cortez's race in New York as a primary victory in a safe blue district. If you're left of center, your best shot at reforming or replacing existing Democratic Party lies in flipping the whole country blue and then offering a better option to people who can afford to pick and choose. Now, I know, you don't owe anybody your vote, and vote for us or else is really not a great message. I get that. But don't vote Democratic for them. Do it for yourself. Because you can do it to ramp down the difficulty of your fight with Washington. Do it to get some breathing room to keep fighting. The GOP has people who are deep into the metagame of politics. They are so good at controlling media narrative and doing all these other things that means that they are good at hiding from you and from us all of the things that they actually believe or will do and reframing the conversation constantly, which makes it really hard to beat them because they know the game better than we do. They don't vote like they're picking a partner or a soulmate or even a business partner. They're voting which party gets to control the floor in Congress because whoever controls the floor in Congress controls what gets done. And the Republican Party is the party of getting nothing done. I know on a purely psychological level, it is hard to get past this. When you vote for a candidate, even if they win, it does not create a future obligation from you to them. You can send a Democrat to Washington and then continue calling them just as often as you did the GOP one that you currently have. Now, the difference is the baseline of what you're fighting for, fighting them on. Instead of don't take away our healthcare, it can be expand our healthcare, or fix the gaps in our healthcare, or where's single payer? Depending on how far left on the spectrum you are. Are there areas where they're indistinguishable from the GOP? Absolutely. And the reason for that are many, many. Some of it is just like, it's our country and we suck. And some of it is they've let the GOP shift the window and control the playing field, which makes the Democrats kind of a bad option in a lot of cases because they're playing the Republican game. A Democratic Party that is constantly teetering on the verge of losing control to the GOP, even when it is ahead, is vulnerable to GOP propaganda rather than the things that, really matter to them. And when the GOP has been consigned to the scrap heap of history and the rival for the Democratic Party's control comes from the left, your head will spin with the speed at which they shift to the left. And this is the way of the world. Yesterday's progressives are tomorrow's conservatives, again for many reasons, but among them, tomorrow there will be more progress. But yesterday's conservatives have to lose first. In response to this, someone who goes by Millennial Crow on Twitter said, really, politicians aren't leaders. They're tools. And I don't mean that metaphorically, like, oh, they're such tool bags. I mean that they are something that we as the public need to wield to use, like a hammer or a rake. It means giving them direction, feedback, and pushing them. And Alexander said, yes, this is exactly it. The actual literal intention of the representative democracy is for them to act as proxies for us. Now, in my own words, if you've been here a long time, you've heard me talk a little bit about New Hampshire's representative democracy, where New Hampshire has the third largest standing legislature in the world. behind the US Congress, the Kremlin, and then New Hampshire. They have 450 odd reps for a state that has just 1 million people, which means that basically every time you turn the corner, you're running into a rep. But it also means that those reps who go to the state house are representing you. Now, it'd be kind of cool, in my opinion, if we had that many, although it would become a completely unwieldy mess if we had, I don't know, 2,000 times 400, if we had, 8 million people in Congress. I think that probably wouldn't work. But it's kind of a cool thought. Now, right now, if you're to the left of the Democratic Party, you're fighting both them and the GOP. So if you're to the left of the Democratic Party, you should be voting to get rid of the GOP. You should be voting strategically, because that way you have one less fight to fight. And the reality is that if you're to the right of the Democratic Party at this point, you're still not getting anything done with Republican representatives. You're still not getting anything done with the people who are out there and trying to block things up now. You're not out there and getting things done with people who lie and hide and don't tell the truth and don't do anything else like that. Now, you don't have to register as a Democrat. You don't have to give money to Democrats. You don't have to love them. You don't have to knock on doors. You don't have to canvass. You don't have to do any of that. But I would say that if you want change, any change, you have to get rid of the Republican Congress we have. And if you're to the left of the Democrats, that means that getting rid of the Republicans is better for you. And if you're to the right of the Democrats, but maybe still to the left of the Republicans, you don't believe that, some of the heinous and terrible things that have been supported and acted on by the Republican Party, that removing healthcare, that giving taxes and money back to the rich, and everything else that is being done is exactly what you're looking for, honestly, you're also probably better with the Democrats. Because at least they have a goal of getting something done. So that's a mix of some of my words as the Chris Who Plays Games and those of Alexander Aaron. Again, her link is in the description below if you want to follow her on Twitter. But that is my feeling. Assume that many people who would want to vote won't be able to, and vote for them. Assume that no race will be won and every race can be won. Announce your intent to vote and get others to do so. I certainly will be. And vote angry, vote often. I'm the Chris Who Plays Games. Thanks. I don't understand how you haven't learned to lip read yet. Jesus Christ, how long have you been watching these streams? We're opening up another beer. This is the Bantam Rojo. The Bantam Rojo says, pardon our friend Rojo. He's a bit of a show-off, but he deserves to be. He's his own can. Mildly sour, utterly subtle, completely intriguing. A reminder to all of us not to judge a book by its cover, and that trying new things can be deliciously rewarding. Fresh past apples, aged with sour cherries and black peppercorns, a mildly sour and subtle cherry finish that is really curious. I will absolutely give some alcoholic propaganda every goddamn time. I was kidding about lip reading, obviously. I wouldn't recommend it. It's not a good way to learn what's going on. One of my the coworkers on my old team, actually, not directly out of my team, but she works on the automated captions. So she has a cochlear implant, and so she can hear sort of, but she has to have some other signal to go on. So this is one of the reasons why automatic captions on videos are so useful on YouTube, is because she can kind of hear, and then having the subtitles or captions there gives her the ability to parse the rest of it. And the same as when you're talking to her, it's best if she can see what you're saying, so she can hear sort of, and then lip read as well. So I don't speak ASL. I should have learned ASL. It's one of my great failures in life that I did not learn ASL when I had a deaf roommate in college. That was shitty of me. I should have done that, but I didn't, and it is to my great shame. There's no fucking kids watching this, Jose. There's like 11 people, and you're like, blech. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. Like, my guess would be that ASL gives you... So ASL isn't a literal transcription, right? And so you're not going to get the same thing out of an ASL translation as in the same way that you wouldn't get any other way. I think that automated captions going through automatic translation is kind of bad on top of bad and is not really an effective means of communicating. And also, like, if it's in a different language, you probably can't understand it anyway, blah, 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 blah. But I really don't know. It sounds like Stingray maybe has more information about these things than I do, so I would ask Stingray. Alright, I will turn my desktop audio back up. Alright, and this is, I believe, the last level of the game. So yeah, ASL is not a transcription. It's going to give you a different thing. Sometimes that can be better, sometimes that can be worse. Sometimes a literal transcription is not super helpful. I will say that one of the things that I've seen people be upset about on Twitter recently is that Netflix seems to be somewhat consistently using a not literal transcription for their captions, their manual captions on Drag Race on Netflix. And a lot of people who are able to hear as well are upset because it is changing the meaning of the words. And that's really frustrating, so... and I think that that makes sense because obviously, like, RuPaul and who I know is problematic in lots of ways for a bunch of reasons, but like, I think there's a lot of kind of like slang and other things that is very important in the community that he's coming from, that if you're not careful in how you transcribe it, like this, it can really change the meaning. And some of the examples I've seen, like, even though I'm not, like, in that community, I'm like, oh yeah, how can you change, you know, like, fucking to friggin'? Like, that's not, like, these things don't really connote the same thing in this context. I can definitely understand how that's a problem. Another common problem with manual translations, or manual captions that people get upset about is kind of handling of foreign languages. You know, the speaks foreign language caption is common and can upset people a lot. So I think that that's something that, you know, if you are ever in a position where you are creating captions for something, that's something to think about. Do you speak ASL, Stingray? I vaguely remember that you were either studying it or knew it at some point. I mean, yes, the whole automatic part of automated is that they're automatic. At this point, though, the automated captions on YouTube are actually better than cheap manual captions for like the traditional stuff, like what you're dealing with me from here, from me here, where you've got a like relatively quiet background noise. I don't understand if I can like tie to this. There's not like a tie point here. Oh, there we go. Like, I don't know what to do. Okay. Holy crap, Matus on mobile. Oh, I did not know that at all. Okay, well there you go. I should just hire Stingray and he should like translate all of my streams with ASL. Yeah, I mean mobile's the future, but Matus have been living in the past. Matus had a flip phone as like recently as VidCon 2017. So yes, and I think would be my reaction to like the mobile's the future. I do actually have one friend who I knew, like, met on LiveJournal, met as part of the Harry Potter fandom community back when I was 18, and I found out recently that she's, I think, completely deaf, which was something I did not know at all, and was really surprising to me because, you know, I only knew her on LiveJournal, and that was never a thing that had come up. So, shoot. Okay, so let's go ahead and push this over, and I climb up here. Nope. Okay, so I gotta move out of the way. Get out the way! Get out the way! Over here. Okay. Looping yarn over moving objects is the key to this puzzle. Right, because once I've done that, I can come over here, I can push this over. Nope. Now I can climb up here, there we go. Boom, boom, boom. To get your own phone? Oh man. I don't think they sell a lot of good flip phones anymore. I feel like they've gotten rid of that. Okay, so this... Okay. Oh, fuck. Why did nobody tell me this? Do people have been telling me this? You are big. That's what you were telling me. Sorry, sorry. That's not just mobile. That's me being an idiot. You all did. Nope, you're right. I'm distracted by this puzzle. Have I been that way since I opened the beer? Like, the entire level. Fuck, man. I'm sorry. I'm just a terrible streamer. Terrible streamer. Stream unto me. I got it though. I think I just need to climb up here now. Alright, everything's good. This puzzle is interesting because it uses gears. I'm sorry that you missed it. I don't need to slow down time. Be perfectly fine without slowing down time. I don't know what's going on, but... Oops! Okay. So we got a water wheel here. And over we go. No idea where I'm supposed to go from here, but... Oop. Squished myself. Okay, cool. I did actually consider pre-recording the game. This is one where, because I'm actually doing a blind playthrough of this and not, for the most part, using hints, I actually wanted to maintain my live reactions. But I did actually consider it. I did pre-record my last run of Unravel. So that is something that I have done before with this game. I am aware and thought about it, but just decided against it in this particular case. Oh. Ah. Okay, so I think I've got to climb on up. Let's climb on up with Blue here. Blue's got to stand on this, and Red will roll this forward. That'll engage that lock permanently. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm bad. But yeah, and then as people in my Discord know that I have been thinking for the past several weeks, basically since VidCon, about whether my live streaming whether live streaming is really effective, whether I should be looking at other platforms, whether I should be thinking about different ways to do things. The reality is that, you know, ever since like last September, there's been a pretty marked decrease in the number of new people that we have visiting the stream. And I think it has gotten to the point where I'm actually not having as much fun, because oftentimes it's like me and one or two other people, and I love the community that we have. I love the people who are here. But at the same time, you've all heard all of my stories, or not all of them, but a lot of them, and I wanna be able to tell my stories to new people, because I think that new people hearing those stories is part of what makes things fun. And I've always said, like, if you're not growing on YouTube, then you're shrinking. People move on. I move on. There are definitely channels that I used to watch religiously, and now I'm kind of like, you know, I put them on, and I'm like, I don't care about any of this. I don't know how I ever cared about any of this. So it totally makes sense that, you know, people aren't going to be here forever, but I look around and I'm like, ugh, but nobody's here, you know, or whatever. Okay, so I think, oh, shoot. So I think what I have to do is I have to swap to red, climb up, red here, swap blue down. Yeah, I mean, doing stuff for more stories is definitely like a thing that I like, but that is harder. The reality is that my stories have been built up over the past like decade or 15 years, some of them even longer ago, and it is difficult for me to figure out exactly how to take that and build new stories quickly. So. Thanks, Jose. As always, tonight's super chats are going to Kids in Need of Defense, an organization which does legal defense for children who are forced to defend themselves in immigration courts. There was actually a video that went out from Now There's Politics this last weekend showing what that can kind of look like, where you can have, you know, 5-year-olds who are forced to defend themselves in court. And it's really kind of frustrating and sad. You know, you look at this and you're like, this seems wrong. Thanks very much. I mean, don't you just like show it your face?
He's a terrible streamer. #boycott can defend children from his terribleness.
But yeah, it's really sad to look at transcripts of what kids defending themselves sounds like, or you know, whatever. It was like a reenactment, because you can't have cameras in the you know, in the courtroom during those proceedings, but it's really sad. The whole thing's sad. The whole environment's sad. Oh yeah, do they I didn't even look what that looked like in live stream alerts. Probably not good. Alright, what are we doing here? Okay, there we go. Water! Gotcha. Yeah, so YouTube pays all of the... Oh, look at that. So am I in control here? Oh, I am. Okay. So now I have like super jump. Oops. And I died. Woo! Yeah, so now I have a double jump functionality, which I did not have before. Whee! Oh no! Whee! Jumping off walls will recharge my double jump. Oh god! Apparently so will jumping off the water, so that's good. I can swing from the glowing spark trails. Whew. Oh, that was not good. So this is like the scene at the end of the last Unravel where you were just swinging from dandelion seed to dandelion seed. Oh no! Matus is still learning how to use a phone keyboard. It's understandable. Phone keyboards are kind of terrible. Ugh! There we go. I'm pretty sure that if you wanted to throw money at children, you could figure out a way to. I also think that the number of people who have thrown money at children via my live streams is 2. And while I love the 2 people who have done that, overall, it's not a high enough number that I am particularly concerned that I will be changing the overall charitable distribution of revenue that much. I mean, I don't know what else a glowing spark thing could be used for. I agree. It seemed pretty clear from the context what it was there for, but I guess in that case I might have left that just for a hint in case you were somehow confused. But this game really does try to keep you as informed as possible, I think. So, okay, so now we've got to go up the rapids. These are like class 5 rapids. Like, these are pretty serious business. I mean, the reality is that, Jose, that, like, again, this is another thing where if I had, and when I do get rated, I will oftentimes mention it so that people know. But, like, attempting to more aggressively monetize my existing audience doesn't feel necessary or particularly helpful, to be honest. I love you all, and I'm sure that people will give whatever money they can, but I don't feel that me bringing it up makes a lot of difference. And so, actually, it's actually different than that. It's that I think that, while it is the case that it might change how people donate, I don't know that I want to be that particular catalyst. Yeah, I mean, I think that Jess and I are kind of special because we have, like, a pretty significant random donations budget that we have decided on and assigned. That means that if it's not your posts, we're giving money to some other Facebook post, or, you know, Indiegogo, or you giving, or whatever, you know, Give to Me, whatever the America's Healthcare equivalent is. That thing. GoFundMe. There you go. So we are kind of special, and I'm not convinced that that extrapolation works for most other people. I definitely think that exposing people to specific various charities is good. But I also know that realistically, most of the people who make it to these streams don't have a ton of disposable income. No, Facebook has the ability to add to your posts a like a donate to this charity option, which is what Jose is talking about. Fuck. I got like stuck in a just like Super Chat for Good, only for Facebook posts. Yeah, just like no money goes to Google for these things, but of course that's difficult on iOS, where iOS is going to take a chunk of your money regardless. You know, Google saying we'll cover the processing fees for this is one thing, but saying we'll cover the processing fees plus 30% is another thing entirely. I have to go over? I know, Jose, you love Facebook now. They're your best friends. Oh, okay. I can go in the water, I just can't go in the... Okay, there we go. But yeah, Matus, there's like it's like you've got two buttons in this game. You've got swing and you've got jump. You know, if you can't jump on them, then you can probably swing on them. I don't know why you had to tell me that. Is a reasonable critique, in my opinion. Not the biggest flaw in this game, probably, but. We gotta go all the way up. Can I swing all the way around? I don't know if I ever tried. Nope, doesn't look like it. It's like a swing set. You can't really go all the way around. Alright. Do this. And forward. Oh, I've gotta get up there. They empower a lot of small businesses? I don't know. Okay. Okay, fair enough. They allow us to engage with our community because they have a reasonable events platform. The reason that they have a reasonable events platform and no one else does is because of their monopoly status. They killed all the other events platforms. It used to be that things like Eventbrite and you know, Evite and other things like that were reasonable options, and now no one wants to check their email anymore because Facebook has killed email. It's not their fault in the same way that, you know, YouTube killing everything that isn't YouTube video sort of isn't their fault, but it does, you know, I don't know. I look at it a bit. Okay. Yes. Okay. Great. Let's see if I can figure out anything else here. What do we got? But like being effective at your job can make you a monopoly. Unfortunately, that's not the fault of Facebook specifically. That's the fault of a desperately fucked up approach to antitrust. Ah! Oh, maybe I just wasn't giving myself enough rope. I think it's different in the US. I think that the Facebook as the primary business platform is kind of a unique thing to other countries. I know that that's like there's also businesses that run their stuff on like WhatsApp, which is like WhatsApp and WeChat are big business platforms in places that aren't the US. And I think that that's a non-US specific thing. And I think a lot of it comes down to, like, overall, I think that the US has more payment systems. And generally, like, accepting money is possible via things that aren't Facebook. Which is less true outside the US. Neither. Are you advertising an app leaf or are you advertising something else? Yeah, I know. I figure it's for work. Man, these kids are gonna like fight all the townspeople now. Oh shit. They're like fucking up the lighthouse. Get out of here, weird ghosts. My lighthouse. Fuck you. Oh no, now there's 3 of us. Oh shit, now there's like 6 of us. What the fuck? Oh, I think these are all the ones I should have saved in the challenge sections I didn't play. Go Sparkle Ball! Light up the lighthouse. Boom! No longer stormy. Because that's how lighthouses work. Hat spin for not stormy. Love forms bonds between us, but not to hold us back. They're meant to save us if we fall, or help us all climb higher. Yes, things break beyond repair sometimes, but we can always build anew. If our fire ever fades, it just takes a single spark to set it off again. No matter how dark things get, we can all help light the way. We can make this life beautiful for ourselves and for each other. And we deserve to be here, whatever shape or color we come in. Thank you for playing Unravel 2. We hope you enjoyed it. We've all had many different roles in the project, too many to mention. We tried to move away from conventional hierarchies and let consensus rule. It wasn't always an easy process, but when the goal is more democracy and equality, it's totally worth the effort. This game speaks with all of our voices, such as they are. We made it together, and we're happy we got to share it with you. Well, this is not Google's hat. This is my hat. So that's the biggest reason. Yeah, so Coldwood is the primary development team that has worked on Unravel. They are based somewhere in the... Are they more? I don't remember exactly. But somewhere in the northern part of Europe. Finland? No, those aren't Finnish names, are they? Holmberg? Those look Danish or something. Thanks! Yeah, so we'll let this play out for a little bit. Sweden. There you go. What's the name for that whole region of like Sweden, Norway, like includes, I don't know. There's a word for the thing I'm thinking of and I don't know what it is. Recorded and mixed at Second Home Umeå. Lujbang. Motion capture actors, etc. Blue and yellow sounds right. Okay, so let's see. So one of the things that I have been doing for the past while has been kind of just browsing through Twitter as during the entire week. And as I see interesting threads of things, I bookmark them so I can bring them up later. So some things that have come up recently. Scandinavia. Stingray's got it. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. It's like, it starts with an S, like, it describes that whole region. I don't know. Scandinavia. Thank you, Stingray. Okay, so things from today. One was the Alexander Aaron voting guide. If you did not hear my CPG rant earlier, Alexander Aaron put out a voting guide. It's targeted at people who are more left-leaning than I am, but I think it actually applies to people who are slightly more right-leaning than I am as well. The reality is that our modern Republican Party has become the do-nothing party of attempting to reward the rich and nothing else, so something to think about. Unpaid internships are a fucking scam. I can upload it at least as a mini VOD, Stingray, and send the link over. I have not decided if I'm actually going to publish it yet. So unpaid internships are a scam. Don't go for one. They're designed for, well, not designed for, but they attract, overly wealthy people. Their promise is networking, but it never really works out for you. It's just a way for companies to get richer. They're a side effect of bullshit capitalism. Paid internships all the way. If you work for a company that has unpaid internships, tell them to stop. It's terrible, it's bad, and it also moves away from positions of diversity, which is actually, again, hurting your company. If you are actually hiring people out of your internship pool and you're hiring only unpaid interns, it means you are explicitly selecting for people who are, generally speaking, white and rich and have the ability to work without pay. So bad. Google internships pay a pretty great salary. I think for a summer at a Google internship, you make like $25,000 or something along those lines. Like, paid internships are the norm in the tech industry. They're the norm in a lot of places. They're not the norm in a lot of places for, like, content writing and social media manager and all this other shit. It's all garbage. They should be paid positions. Scotty from Star Trek is apparently, like, a living legend. The guy has been shot 6 times in World War II. So he was serving at D-Day, and he had one round that took off 2 of his fingers, which I did not know. Scotty is missing 2 fingers, so there you go. 4 hit his leg, and 1 was stopped by a silver cigarette case in his breast pocket. Yeah, and I guess he also slalomed a plane between telegraph poles. So I don't know a lot about this guy, but now I need to look up more about him. So this was said in part in response to the fact that William Shatner was off being a bit of a racist douchebag this weekend. So there's that. Mr. Rogers once sued the KKK. The KKK set up a phone number and was posting it on like campgrounds and stuff like that, where they had taken Mr. Rogers' voice and made him say like utterly racist and vile things. And he successfully like sued the KKK and won. I did not know that. There's a couple of threads out there, one of which I retweeted, which links to the other one, which I may have also retweeted, about how brains work with motor systems. Definitely check that out if you haven't read it. It turns out that our brains and our visual perception are just total bullshit. They have lag of like 100 milliseconds, and in order to get me to there's not lag of like 100 milliseconds, they just like backfill everything. Like everything you think you're going to want to do, you actually wanted to do it 100 milliseconds before, but your brain just like deletes all of your brain out of that, and you can't know that. Hey look, open source. BSD 2 clause license content. This is the 2 clause BSD license. The MIT license, which now amusingly MIT actually discourages you from using. the 2-clause BSD license is actually similar to one that I had to modify in order to not give people a patent right at one point, which the Open Source Software Institute looked at and said, yeah, this is open source, but whoever's using it is trying to screw you, which is definitely true. Let's see. Not paying employees is also dumb. It is taking advantage of a tragedy of, like, it's creating a tragedy of the commons. It's creating a situation where, you know, unpaid internships remove money from the economy. Like, companies do better when people have money to spend on things. That shouldn't be brain science, but here we are. Capitalism sucks. NewsHour completely misreported the source of increased pedestrian deaths. They were like, people are dying because they're too drunk, which is total horseshit. Not at all the case. The reason that people are dying more is because there's more SUVs. They're dying more because cars are more dangerous now than they used to be, and they just totally misreported this. So, like, the number of deaths of pedestrians who are drunk has gone up by like 16% over the past 3 years, but the number of pedestrian deaths in total has gone up by 22%, which means that the, like, rate of people dying because they're drunk has actually gone down, and instead people are just dying more because SUVs are dangerous vehicles that should not be on the road in modern cities, because modern cities are designed for smaller, slower cars. And not for high-riding cars. Cambridge is part of the Vision Zero effort to attempt to have 0 pedestrian deaths from vehicles. This means that we have slowed all of our speed limits from 30 miles per hour to 25 miles per hour to 20 miles per hour. We have redesigned massive numbers of roads to have more separation between bikes and pedestrians and cars, and overall are moving away from these things. For PBS to blame drunk victims is horseshit. Absolute horseshit. Really disappointing from them. They should have known better. There's really bad news on immigration benefits. The government in general continues to claim that they have no ability to reunite families and their children because they have done terrible things and deleted records and not kept records. It is absolute garbage. As well as people who are seeking immigration, if anything goes wrong, they'll basically be kicked out of the country. Absolutely ridiculous and terrible. As well as USCIS's current denaturalization squad, which is seeking to remove naturalized citizenships from people. All of these things are absolutely asinine and terrible. They are manufactured humanitarian crises, and it is shitty as fuck. Yeah. The Tanacon documentary is great. Watch it if you have not. The Bethesda documentary from NoClip, also great. I highly recommend it, both the overall Bethesda documentary as well as the Fallout 76 documentary. I'm actually interested in Fallout 76 now, which I did not think I would be. I've played no other modern games. And I guess that we can end on a funny picture that amused me. So this is apropos of some idiot who was like, oh, you're gonna bring me back to the, you know, party, blah blah blah. It's irrelevant. But what is relevant is that this guy who people are like treating as some like brilliant genius or whatever, like, he bought this thing. Like, this thing for a game that didn't exist yet. He spent $3 million on getting this custom modified bus to drive around to different events. And, like, before it could even be completed, because it ran like 6 months overdue, he actually got fired as CEO or whatever of the company, because it turns out that wasting millions of dollars on an unlaunched game that was not super successful was not considered to be really great anything. So Mark Kern is a bumbling, bigoted dipshit who collects cartoon pornography of children and got shit canned for buying this bus. So that's Mark Kern in a nutshell for you. And I think that is going to be it. So yeah. So thank you all for being here tonight. It is early enough that I will probably hang out and watch something for a little while if I can find something good to watch. We don't have the lounge available anymore, but we will watch Narcost playing Overcooked. And so if you are interested in hanging out, you can wander over here, say CPG Raid, watch some Narcost, and other than that, I'll be back on Monday playing some retro games. So take care. Have a lovely night. It's been lovely to talk to you all, and I hope you have a good one. See ya. Bye-bye.